like to call this meeting to order for the City of Geneva Historic Preservation Commission for Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. You call the roll?
Zelmer,
Here.
Tobler,
Here.
Jensen,
Here.
McManus, here, Phillips,
Here.
Solomon, Reeby.
We have a quorum. Actually, the next thing on our agenda is approval of meeting minutes for January 21st, 2026. Any omission or any changes, or if not, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
And a second?
Second.
And then call the roll?
Zelmer,
Aye.
Tobler,
Aye.
Jensen,
Abstain.
McManus,
Abstain.
Phillips.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, next we have review of building permits, 18 Campbell Street. Emily, you will?
Thank you. So I'll give a quick history first. We are looking down here on the southeast corner of the district for 18 Campbell Street. But it was not always on that southeast corner. The house was acquired by the Conant family in 1843, and at that point it was originally located at 202 South First. It was connected to the stone cottage on that property in 1858 and continued to be in the Conant family for some time. In 1888, we know that there was an ownership transfer to the Height family, and in 1928, Kate Raftery moved the house as part of her River Street improvement project. So you can see right there in that 1928 house move image, that's part of the newspaper article announcing that Raftery was moving the property. Quick permit history on it. We know there was a remodel in 1987, some normal roof repairs, driveways, fences. In 2015, we have a deck renovation as well. And we're looking specifically at the front stoop on the site. So the proposal is to remove and reset the bricks on that front stoop. They likely date to that raftery move, both because of us knowing when the property was moved and knowing the manufacturer of these bricks. Purington Brick Company was established in 1890 in East Galesburg, Illinois. They primarily produced paving bricks, such as what you see here. Something kind of fun for anyone kind of keeping an eye out for bricks is that they're also in the Panama Canal and Paris. There was some big projects there. And their largest order was during World War II to a site in Indiana for a munitions factory. They shifted to bricks for buildings, specifically around 1940 and closed in 1974. But these bricks specifically are those paving bricks which were constructed during that same period of the move, which is how we know the approximate date of the stoop. So, right now the stoop, as you can see, is degrading. It was repointed last year, I believe, and is already back into this shape. So the new proposal is to remove it, give it a better foundation, reset it, so that the foundation itself isn't sinking when the repointing and the resetting happens, and that hopefully that lasts longer this time around. And I believe, yep, that's all I've got. Anything extra?
No, I don't think so. Glad to answer any questions. Thank you for your service.
Could you introduce yourself?
My name is Ed Condon. I'm the property owner. My wife and I at 18 Campbell.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions from the commission? So I guess you're resetting it and you're going to build a concrete foundation underneath it to start with? Is that the idea?
Yeah, so the contractor isn't quite sure what's under there. He was very confident back just in October about the tuck pointing job, and it didn't even take until January before it started to degrade. So he's confident that there's something not stable underneath, and he's going to need to assess the extent of that. In my agreement with him about the tuck pointing job, part of that arrangement was that he would take care of any warranty on the work, and so I'm sure he's eager to make sure that this time it's done right.
Yeah, sounds good.
I was just curious, is the mortar that he used the last time going to be the same he'll use this time?
That's a great question. This isn't my area, so I asked him if really the quality of the mix was part of the problem in the degradation, and he said no, it's a standard mix that I guess they use. At the same time, interestingly, as part of a submission that we had, tuck pointing was done on the chimneys with that same mortar mix, and it's held just fine. But we've only been in the property since early July, and when we arrived, it was degrading. It was part of the inspection that, they recommended we get it done, and so we tried to do it as soon as possible. But it's just unfortunate that it needs a more laborious answer than what we had preferred.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the mortar that's being used, or Emily?
Somewhat familiar. There's a lot of different mortars in the world, so I don't know this one specifically. It does have a little bit of a blend to it, which might not always be used for historic, but because these are paving bricks, so they're generally much harder than your typical building brick. They were designed to be that way at the time. I imagine that everything, the goal of mortar is always to be softer than a brick, and most mortars will be softer than a paving brick. Typically, for historic, for anyone that's interested, we recommend something along the lines of type O, which is all lime. But that's really for when you're using softer bricks, is when you really want to emphasize that.
Well, your house is beautiful. It's a beautiful house. So thank you for buying it, and thank you for wanting to take good care of it and not asking to have it demoed. Also, you will be removing the bricks, but then you're hoping to put the same bricks back, correct?
Yes, as Emily mentioned, it's a pretty unique brick. As a matter of fact, when he came out the first time, he said, "If you ever remove this, I'd love to buy those bricks from you." And I said, "I think that's the sign I won't be doing that." But yes, he'll be resetting those, and I've kind of made it clear to him. This is a contractor that's been in business for decades, so I have some confidence in the reviews and things I've learned about him. But that we really need to make sure that those bricks are the ones that are reset, because even securing backup bricks would be very expensive. And my wife won't let me go to Panama or Paris.
So it's just the steps, it's not the patio or the bricks along the driveway or any of
It's the
those other?
steps, the three.
Okay.
I don't see any issues, so
I don't have any
can I get an motion to approve as presented?
I'll move to approve the resetting of the front steps at 18 Campbell Street as proposed.
Second.
Okay, call the roll.
Zelman,
Aye.
Tobler,
Aye.
Jensen,
Aye.
McManus,
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Good.
Thank you for your
Motion
support.
passes. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Administrator.
Thank you. I'll send you an email tomorrow.
Our next item is 102 South Second Street. One in many of security installations.
Okay, so we're looking now at Second Street, more in the middle of the district there. I think most of us in here have seen this property before, but I'll quickly go through a history. The church itself was constructed in 1843 with the vestibule on the front there, added in 1874. The Pioneer House was constructed in 1893 and acted as the church parsonage. In 1955, an addition was done on the west elevation. That addition is contributing to the property as it's within that 1835 to 1966 period of significance. In 1989, a second addition was done connecting the Pioneer House, so the original parsonage, to the sanctuary. That addition is non-contributing because it's outside of the period of significance. This property itself is a big puzzle that is fun to piece apart and see what happens. And in 2004, the exterior was restored. Right now, we are working on a piece of the nonprofit security grant program out of DHS, just adding to the security of the religious property for the people that use it. So quick permit history, we've got some re-roofs, the stoop replacement. In 2024, that's when that DHS grant work started with the window replacement and door replacement at the James Street entrance specifically. In 2025, we had another door replacement in the Pioneer House and the lighting, which came before you guys just a few months ago. And this, from last month's 5-minute field guide, is the Habs drawing of the church. So, approximate location of work is the entire site, because the goal is to have security on the entire site. we're looking at this plan. It's on your packets as well if you want to see it sort of closer up, but I'll run through everything really quickly. In the sanctuary, we're looking at a few cameras, nothing on that stucco face, just on the soffit and trim, and that is contributing. On the Pioneer House, which is also contributing, we're looking at some cameras, some which will be visible, some which won't be visible. And you can kind of see on the camera on the left, the photo on the left, that a lot of these hardware elements have been proposed to be added where there are already lighting elements for ease of electricity wiring and also to keep everything sort of clustered together that looks modern. In the 1956 edition and the 1989 edition, so remember only part of this is contributing, we're looking at a few cameras, again, along sort of the same lines as where the lighting has been installed. And then we've also got some door access control hardware, so this is keypads and things to keep the doors locked more securely. On the 1885 Pioneer House main entrance and that 1956 edition, the James Street entrance, which, as you saw before, this door is new, the hardware will be staying on the Pioneer House door. And then, again, on the 1989 edition, 2 of those door access control hardwares, one with an intercom viewer, and again, that's not contributing, but is part of the scope of the project. And that's the scope of this one. You guys can come up.
My name's Kevin O'Neill. I'm with the Unitarian Universalist Society of Geneva and the project manager for our FEMA grants. This is,
My name's Jeff Stivel.
Jeff
I'm the
is,
tech director there.
he's the tech director there. And we're here to answer any questions or provide any more information that you'd like.
I don't have any questions. It's a great report. There's no historical materials that are going to be removed from it, and your goal is to create a safer environment for the people that attend your church, and I think that's great. And I'm happy that you have the grant and you have the money to use it to create a safer environment for the people that attend your church.
Thank you.
I concur.
Thank you.
Any, yes, Mr.
2 questions, particularly the cameras that are going on the sanctuary, the one that's on the north side there at the corner. I see that one is kind of pointed down to the west along that facade. Is there any way that could be moved to the other end of the sanctuary so it wasn't as visible and still get the same coverage and security from that camera?
Yeah, that's possible. We, as I mentioned in the document, we are still considering some changes. We actually want to move that more down towards the middle, so it's not on the corner, where it will be a little easier for us to access from the attic, and then have a camera that has 2 lenses on it going in each direction. So it's not as far as you have pointed out, but it's getting it away from the front.
So it would be an access issue if you were to go all the way to the west.
That's the problem that we have,
Yeah.
that we're suspecting now in the corners, because there's not a whole lot of room in the corners anyway. And if we can get it in the middle of the attic, we'll have a little more access.
I think personally, I would think I would prefer that, just for visual,
Sure.
how it looks from the sidewalk.
I think that's the best solution for us, is to move it down.
And then the other thing I was wondering about is the, above the sanctuary door there. Are there any decorative lights that also have cameras that could be used instead of that turret that's gonna be stuck up on the soffit?
Perhaps, but we are sort of constrained by our technology network that we have, which is called Ubiquity Unify. And so all of these devices integrate into that particular network system, and they do not have something that has a light and a camera on it. If we did, it would perhaps even interfere with the decorative light that we currently have. It wouldn't replace the light that's over the door.
Well, they don't have one.
They don't have
Right,
one,
so
yeah.
I mean, and you wouldn't want to get another parties or another manufacturer.
Correct,
because it might
exactly.
not work
That would
with your
be-
system.
We're using white housings to blend into the building as much as possible now.
Right. So would it go up more towards the peak, or would it be in the middle, or?
It would be in the middle, so that we can get a view of the door. If we go up too high, the light fixture will perhaps get in the way. But we haven't, we're working with a contractor. We can see if we can get it up higher into the peak, if you think that's a,
Well, I don't want to, I wouldn't want you to compromise,
Okay.
what you can see with the camera, so. It was just, if there was a decorative light that also included something that you could use,
No,
I'd prefer to see that than
unfortunately.
It's also
a
like-
dome there.
Yeah, yeah. If we bring it down low, it makes it, say, vandal.
Sure.
You can wipe it out, easily. And so we're trying to keep it out of harm from, if there is any vandalism type of thing.
Does it matter on which end of the gable it goes, or what side?
no.
Does anybody have any thoughts about whether or not it matters?
No, I was
As far
just
as street
thinking,
view?
I'm assuming these are proposed locations, and that's all depending how you get the access wiring to
Correct.
it, so
Yeah.
that may move to a certain point.
Yeah,
So you're
it
not
may have
destroying
to
the outside,
adjust
but
somewhat
from the
because,
inside.
and the vestibule is going to be probably our biggest challenge in terms of access.
Does that have is there a no ceiling, or it's just part of?
It's like beadboard right to the
Right to the
roof.
joist?
Yeah, yeah.
So you gotta kind of fish through and try to
Right.
get that to work, right? Yeah, that could be tough. Okay.
So we're trying to find the most experienced installers to
Absolutely.
Yeah.
work with and have experience with other houses of worship and stuff,
And historic buildings.
and historic buildings.
Sounds good. Any other questions or comments? You want to craft a motion?
Yeah, I move that
Kevin?
we approve the camera and the security cameras that have been proposed with the stipulation that the one on the north side of the sanctuary be moved more
Farther
towards
to
the
the
center
west.
of the sanctuary.
Yeah. We concur.
Sec-
We're going to do that anyway.
I have mine on.
Zelman,
Aye.
Tobler,
Aye.
Jensen,
Aye.
McManus,
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much, guys.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming in. Okay. Our next is 226 South River Lane, window replacements.
All right, thank you. So we are kind of in the same area we've been in all night so far. Circling the same few blocks. This is a newer home for the historic district, but it does fall within that historic district period of significance, which is why we're here today. So from about 1891 to 1912, Sanborn maps tell us that this site was actually used for a stable. You can see in 1945, it was an empty lot. And that sort of continued until 1957 when the house was constructed for the Beale family. That photo in the center there is David Beale, his graduation photo, I believe, from officer training school in 1967. So the Beale family lived at the property from 1957 to at least 1981, and David was the son of the owner, so he grew up in the home. Quick permit history in 2012, a fence was put up. In 2019, driveway and sidewalk permits were pulled. They weren't totally completed at that time though, because this thing called coronavirus happened. So in 2025, that was completed and a fence and roof permit was also pulled. That brings us to today. So right now, our approximate location of work is that street side there, because we're just looking at a couple windows on that side today. We are looking at the existing conditions of this site include some windows that were replaced without a permit. Since then, we've been able to get in contact with the applicants and worked really well on getting a lot of information together for further window replacements with permits. So these are those windows that were replaced without permit. To be clear, the photos on the right are what they look like now, having been replaced. So these were not the original windows to the home, those are the windows that are there now. The original windows to the home, you can see on the left, there's a lot of wood rot there. And you can also see the aluminum triple track screens that have been applied over the exterior of them since 1981, sometime between 1981 and recently. So these are the windows that we're actually talking about today, windows 1 and 2 in the packet. They're on the second story of that same facade. And these windows are, we've seen a few of these recently actually. They're not typical all wooden windows that we might be used to in the historic district. They have aluminum channel balances. You can see sort of a description of what that looks like on the top left. And they've also over time had their original storm windows where you replace the storm with the screen every year, replaced with that aluminum triple track, which is really what you can see on the exterior right now. And then the windows that are actually original to the home are behind that storm. So that's sort of the condition that we're looking at for possible replacement. The preferred proposal is the ones on the right, the Marvin Elevate replacements. Those have a wood exterior and a fiberglass interior. And those are sort of some images of the hardware and other things going on with those windows.
It's opposite, isn't it?
Yeah,
Exterior is fiberglass, interior wood.
I believe it, yes,
I would
yeah.
think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
sorry about that.
That's okay, just wanted,
Good catch.
for the record.
Yeah, and then on the left, we've got the all wood that there was also an estimate gotten for. So I've gotten some extra details on the windows too, some extra measurements. You can sort of see the light dimensions and sash dimensions since the packet went out. So those are there for you to compare, as well as the cost and the window details that are all involved in your packet. I'll pause on this for a second. I won't read it all aloud, but lots of numbers being thrown at you, so I'll give you a second to look at it. And I can always go back to that. So again, the preferred replacement is the alternate material Marvin Elevate, which involves that fiberglass. An in-kind replacement option is the Marvin Ultimate Wood. We're looking at a cost differential of about $1,000. And a repair would cost $2,310. That repair would also include changing the windows from a double hung to a single hung, just to be aware of that, and the storms would remain with the repair.
The triple track would remain.
Yes. And I think I left that as my last, yeah. So if you all want to come up and introduce yourselves.
My name's Tim Fallon. I'm the owner of the house, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have about this project.
Sure, thank you.
I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna start talking. So, so you're proposing this replacement in kind, an all-wood window, but we would prefer that the exterior of this be,
That's a good clarification. The applicant's preferred option is the alternate material.
okay.
I
So
apologize for not making that clear.
they prefer, oh, okay, so you would prefer to have the exterior be the,
It's a fiberglass clad wood frame and sash.
and then the wood interior. And then the original windows were wood on the outside and the inside.
Yes.
And so that's what, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why this is,
No, sorry for that.
okay.
So I'm sorry, Lisa, are you still thinking?
I am, but go ahead.
Okay. Are you,
I'm totally, yeah, I'm just processing and a little
Okay.
slower than normal.
no, I'm with you on that too. So we're looking at the Franklin side of the house.
You're looking at the side of the house, correct?
Okay.
Yes,
And so windows 3 and 4 have already been
replaced.
replaced with the Marvin
Elevate.
Elevate
Right.
that you like. So we're looking at windows 1 and 2.
Have not been replaced yet.
Okay,
They're
they've
the
not been,
original.
they're on the same side.
Yes.
I'm just thinking and talking out loud here. So thank you for taking care of your windows. And number 2, shouldn't the windows all be the same? So, I mean,
Well, and I
I don't think
We
it's
have
very
not,
nice to
we have
say.
not finished that facade yet.
Okay,
Yeah. And you probably have those other windows already and,
Not yet,
not yet? Oh,
not yet.
oh, okay.
So down the road, are you thinking of the rest of the house for similar new windows?
That's correct.
Okay, so, you know, a decision that we make here about these windows, you know, kind of would apply to the rest of the house at some point too, I would think.
Yeah, I guess I look at it as what was the quality of the original window?
You look back at the photographs that
I
Emily
noticed
provided?
that the photographs within our packet, we had a few more pictures of what was in the dumpster. And those, the sills were all rotten out, basically.
Sills were rotted out. As Emily mentioned, the mechanics behind the window, it is not a counterweight pulley
No.
kind of arrangement. It's a, you know, a flash in the pan kind of a mechanism where it used like a claw and a friction
Yeah.
heel with a spiral wound guide, and you can't get parts for that. We initially pursued the repair route, and were stopped pretty much dead in our tracks when came back with, we can only repair just the lower sash. We're gonna have to freeze the upper sash.
Sure.
And you would have to take the whole window out and then send it to this repair shop for a couple weeks. We have 17 windows. I mean, that's a long, we'll be gone by then. I mean, it's it wasn't a feasible approach, even though we did the research to try to go that route. It wasn't something that we wanted to stretch out that long. This project is gonna be about 1.5 years anyway, and that would have really extended it about. And even if the whole point was to refurbish the window, but we don't want it to be half operable either.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get rid of the triple tracks too, because it just doesn't look good, okay? You look at what the window looks like, the 2 windows that we replaced, and it really brings back the original design and lines of what the house was originally, built to.
And so the windows on the rest of the house are the same aluminum
Yes.
track
Yep.
and with the triple
That's
track?
right.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that triple track storm window and screen either.
No.
And I hate to say it, but I think that these windows are probably the level of a builder-grade window, not a custom window that was built for this house. It was something out of a lumber yard, if you will. Which is, there's nothing wrong with the window that was put in at that time, but that's kind of my opinion of it. And I don't know whether it's actually important to salvage the level of that type of window.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So-
The window itself
I
is
think,
original
yeah.
to the house. It's within the period of significance. The triple track is probably not.
No,
correct?
it's not.
So that,
Yeah, and
would be able to go for sure.
yeah, but even at that, I'm not sure that you need to salvage every window that's in the
Right, no,
historic
and-
district, is
and-
kind of my point. And
I
I know
agree.
that we had over on James Street, there was a house that was done, that they had some older builder windows and a door that was an old builder door that, it's like,
Right.
it, just because it's met the period of significance, I'm not sure it's met the level
Yeah.
of historicness that we would
Yeah.
want to salvage.
It itself is not significant.
Yes, exactly, even though, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm coming down on
Right,
that.
so the question is, replace with wood
Yeah,
or wood and fiberglass clad.
Exactly. I think we've kind of allowed alternate materials lately.
And there is a pretty big difference in price, and we're talking a total of 17 windows eventually.
Well, yeah,
So-
we're talking about 2 windows at this point, right?
Right, so even
Yeah.
for right now, with just the 2 windows, it's $1,000 difference between what you would like to put in as comparison to replacing with in-kind. So, I mean, that's a pretty big difference in itself. And if I'm understanding it correctly, the replacements would be the same size, same style, and same function as what's in there. It's just a different material.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Which we already have approved for other cases too,
Right.
so. I don't have any other questions.
I just had a couple questions, just on the cost comparison between the Elevate and the Ultimate Wood. The Ultimate Wood, you know, it mentions an Ovolo cladding profile and potentially work on the subsill, and, I mean, there's a number of differences between the two cost estimates. And so in order to, you know, basically make sure that we're making the right decision, I wanted to be able to try and like compare apples to apples.
Yes, the first thing we focused on was dimensions. We don't want to modify the
Right.
look or the lines of the new windows, keep it at all the same. Then the estimate comes back, or the quote comes back, and they're $1,000 more. All wood windows do not have a warranty on the wood materials, okay? Whereas the fiberglass clad, that window does come with a warranty. The wood windows have a higher U factor to them, so there is less thermal protection with respect to that. There's actually a greater exposed area with the wood fiberglass compared to the wood windows. There's less window area with the wood, all wood design. So overall, we're looking at longevity with the wood fiberglass warranty, energy savings. It's from a standpoint, it's beneficial to us, and it makes the house look very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I agree with that. Those windows that were previously installed, they look much better than the ones up top. Just curious, how did you get to the point where you were able to do that without a permit? And I ask more in the sense of,
Okay.
do we need
I'll
more
answer
communication
that.
with the
It's
public
simple.
about?
Because it was a repair issue, we wanted to see what it looked like, and we're kind of asking for forgiveness, and we've sought permits for other work on the exterior of the house before without even thinking twice about it. We just wanted to see if this one would work, and being on the side of the house, it was kind of like an experimental effort.
Yeah, I'm not, criticizing. I was just more curious as
Yeah,
to,
'cause-
do we as a commission need to have more communication
Sure.
with the public in order to make sure that,
And after this is all said and done, the front of the house is now gonna be the next target, or the back, I got 2 more sides to do, more windows.
Well, and the back of the house really doesn't have the same requirements that some of the more visible sides do anyway.
Nope, but it's the permit that we, I think that was the question, so there definitely will be a permit,
Yeah,
being
I was
sought
just
for that.
inserting a comment, but yeah, for sure. For me, I think that, I think when it comes to these windows being where they are, for starters, I almost feel like we're following with consistency and materials from what's already there. It's on the second floor, and we have allowed in the past people to, replace materials, especially in some of those more out-of-sight areas, so, I don't know.
Yeah, don't see a lot of issues with it.
No.
So but I'm glad to hear that you're moving ahead. If you, I can get a motion to approve as presented, and just make sure that we note that the alternate, or the material, the fiberglass material would be acceptable. I don't know. Lisa, you want to put that one together?
Not particularly.
I will
All
do it.
right, I can do it.
No,
What am I saying again?
I don't know. Kevin may be ready to say something.
I was gonna say,
I move that we approve the window replacement at 226 South River Lane, windows number 1 and 2, with the applicant's preferred option of the elevate wood-clad, fiberglass, wood-clad with fiberglass window. Yeah, I know, it's like, doesn't roll off the tongue very well.
No. Second?
Second, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Second.
Zelmer,
Aye.
Tobler,
Aye.
Jensen,
Aye.
McManus,
aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Okay, great, thank
All right, thank you for your
Thanks
time.
for coming in.
Thank you all for coming in. I'll send you an email tomorrow.
Okay. The next one is, are we crossing into, concept reviews? So, that would be, 17 North 6th Street.
Okay, so like we said, this is a concept review, so we're crossing over from approving permits to more discussion, suggestions, comments, concerns. More of a model. And we are starting here, we're switching the area of the district, we're going up north to 17 North 6th. Quick history on this one too, we don't have a lot of information on it because it was mostly a very vernacular property. It was constructed, we know, about 1895, and we know that a commercial use was introduced in the property around 1966. At first, it was the Kane County Medical Society, as that says, and several other commercial uses have sort of crossed through the property, especially on that bottom floor. And this is just a fun article I found in the Geneva Republican when I was researching. In 1943, lightning struck the house and sort of shot through, I don't really understand how this would happen, but shot through past the Mrs. Carlson and her daughter, Miss Carlson, while they were getting ready for bed. And the fire department could not be called because the lightning also knocked out all the phone lines. So luckily it was raining, and the fire on the roof got put out, and both mother and daughter were barely missed getting hit by about a foot. So just a fun little piece of property history.
Kind of a wild story.
I know, I was like, I have to include this. The approximate location of work is the entire site because overall this work is going to revert the property back into a fully residential property. But for our purposes, we're really looking at the front porch. That's where the most change visible from the right-of-way is happening. Just as a note, this property is right next to a parking lot, but that's not technically the right-of-way, so we're looking at it from that front street. I know it's kind of weird because it's a parking lot and not like a building there, but just in our minds, we have to imagine that that is a skyscraper and we can't see anything down the side because that's not public right-of-way. So the proposal is to rehabilitate this porch. The door is gonna get a little wider, which means the windows are gonna get a little narrower. So those windows will be replaced. Most other parts of the front that's visible is just normal repair. And so here's some drawings of what that is gonna look like. And then just the plans, just for fun. But I'll go back to the photos because I think that's the most useful. And I think that's really it. If you want to come up and join the conversation.
Good evening, Sean Gallagher, 427 Anderson Boulevard, Geneva. I'm representing the folks at Hogan. One of the representatives, John Vendefredo, is here to answer any technical questions you may have. Our proposal is pretty straightforward. Siding staying as is. It will be painted. The shutters are going to be removed, so those are gone altogether from the scheme. Obviously, the front porch is going to get some TLC. I hope you got a chance to take a look at it. We'll probably be back to you with permits when we talk a little bit about repairing those windows on the side, because muntins are completely eviscerated and dismantled and pulled off of their sort of segments. So the sides are in pretty bad shape. We may have to do some work on those. But that said, I'm going to get a prop, okay? Because these triple track storms, they're coming off, and we're replacing them with a Marvin combination storm screen unit. Now, I've mentioned these on a couple of occasions at different meetings, and I think it's a resource you should be aware of. This is coming off of my own house that I installed 20 years ago. So, so all of the existing windows are going to receive one of these guys, okay? Obviously, the size is different, but it's like a conventional storm unit, right? So it is a wood frame, and it's a triple track interior, right? So it's quite handy. The bottom sash has a screen, and then you have the upper panel is fixed. And then the lower panel slides up and down, just as you would with a triple track. So the interior is vinyl, right? But from the outside, it looks like a traditional wood storm. So you still have the wood check rail, and then the upper and lower rails and, the stiles off the side. So these will replace the triple tracks on the house as it is. So we're not going to be doing anything with the existing windows. They'll be staying in place other than any sort of putty that needs to be replaced, or if there is a glass unit or a light that's broken, we'll certainly be replacing that. But as it stands right now, the intention for Hogan is to repurpose the house as a duplex, an upper unit and a lower unit, and with the intention of, following the strategic plan for the city and continuing to increase density in the downtown. So that's one of their efforts in doing that. So that said, there will be a new stoop. That stoop that's there is in really bad condition. We're going to have a nice little landing and then a step down. That's all we'll really need. I can't, any questions you may have, I'm happy to answer, as would John. But the proposal, I think, is pretty straightforward as it goes with that.
And that's aluminum siding on that house, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So most of the financial inertia is going to go to the interior.
Was there a transom originally? I mean,
No, I'm happy to make it a solid panel. I got to put a light on. So
Okay.
I may actually turn it into a solid panel for the
Yeah.
permit submittal, because I do need to have a coach light out there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of limited in terms of where I can pop it in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want me to replace the transom with just a recessed panel that would have a coach light, that would certainly address that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's very little, there's no soffit there to
I know,
speak of,
It's
right?
pretty tight. And I don't know if you're aware of this. Did you know, maybe you all know this, but like when there's an eagle on the front, do you know that means they paid their mortgage? Obviously,
Oh.
I mean, you guys already paid your mortgage on that.
Maybe we should all do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
somebody told me that, maybe you told me, but, yeah, the eagle has it's a symbol of having paid your mortgage, so.
Must have been proud.
Yeah,
Been a tough year.
yeah.
So you're talking about potentially taking that glass transom over the front door and putting in a solid panel for
Yeah, I
like
mean,
some
sort
sort
of
of
like it
entry
is
light
now.
or something, yeah,
I don't know, can you scroll to the photo that's, yeah, so
Yeah.
right now you just have a
something
flush panel.
more attractive.
Maybe level it out, not have it head down.
Yeah, well, there's I mean, if you take a look, there's a lot of not level
It's a
along
lack
the
of
Yeah.
center porch, yeah.
So is it not level, or is this the pictures? It look like it's not level?
Yes.
Okay. I was just thinking.
There's a lot of pitch to it, so there's going to be a little bit of reinforcement needed for the floor. And it naturally pitches just simply because it was pitched, I don't know how long these glass units have been in there, but it was naturally pitched so that if water got on it, it would pitch away. But
Yeah.
I don't know where it would go, because it would just simply die into the wall.
So any thought on if you start fixing that front porch and the siding's damaged, or you gotta fix the siding and how to replace it to match the rest of the, any thought on that, or?
Until we get into it,
Yeah.
we can't know for certain. But, I mean, being an aluminum-sided structure, we don't know what the siding is under this porch at all. I mean, we have some indication of what the siding is on the original house because it's inside the porch. It's got an OG profile, and it's probably about, I don't know, 3 1/4 exposure. But all of that's being left as is. I doubt the porch has that, so. So yeah, to your question, Andrew, I don't know for sure until we get into it.
The porch was a later addition. It doesn't appear in this way on any Sanborn map, so we know it was likely added after 1945, at least. So that siding is probably not, like you said, Sean, probably not there.
And if we had to replace the siding, then we could replace it in kind so that it matches and maybe to the color they decide to paint the house. One other interesting tidbit, I mean, the lightning strike is interesting, but also the house was hit, that bay was hit by a car, obviously being in that parking lot, it could be a little dangerous, so a car kind of launched itself into that bay, so they had to rebuild the wall back a ways, so.
'Cause isn't the parking lot to the liquor store?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a
That
possibility.
could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hogan's is located right next door,
Correct.
right? Like your office or?
Yeah. So they own this property, and so the garage behind here
Uh-huh.
with the, sort of like the ADU, so that will be a dwelling unit, and then they'll have, this will go from an office to a single or a one-bedroom apartment on the second floor and 2 bedrooms on the lower level, so, yeah.
Any comments? I mean, I think it
No.
kind of does, I think it's probably not even a 3-foot door there right now, is it?
It's 32, so that's why we have to enlarge it.
Yeah.
and- Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't see any issues. Do you guys see anything that jumps
No.
out at you?
I don't.
Mm-mm. It does need some love, so that's
It
good.
does, it does.
Yeah.
The house in general does.
Yeah, it's sad right now.
Mm-hmm. But, any,
How
No,
much does something like that cost?
So 20 years ago, I think each unit was about $250. So, and I ended up doing the install on it, so you order them within a reasonable dimension, and then you have to shave them depending on the, you know, the squareness of the opening. I will say they do a really nice job of at least buffeting the wind. We had our windows all restored, so they're all traditional double hungs with the weights. But it does help to buffet the wind, and it does help, in terms of thermal performance, I'm sure it helps. But especially as far as air infiltration, it helps a lot, yeah.
Certainly looks better than the aluminum triple tracks.
Yeah, so I mean, this is something to have in your toolkit as
Yeah.
you think about
Yeah.
what are options for folks that come to you with, hey, we have to get rid of our triple tracks. Well, hey, here's a neat option for you to consider, so, yeah.
very cool.
Cool.
And that's from your house, John?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought I recognized it.
wow, you're walking by our house a lot. I love it.
Okay, well, we really didn't give you much feedback, but I think you're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think the panel above the door will certainly take care of that, and I
Yeah.
think that would make sense, especially since it's like that now. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. I know you're not making a motion, so thank you for your insight, and we'll look forward to seeing you when we get to permits.
Very good. Will that be next month, or are you gonna be a little?
I don't know
farther
how
away?
quickly the turnaround will be. It depends on city's review of the drawings, and it's a little unusual that we're converting a house that was an office back into a house that is a duplex, and so, but we'll see. We'll see, but, great, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll leave that up here, because the next
Yep.
case
Yeah.
I'll be.
Okay, great. Next is 428 Ford Street.
Okay, so for this one, we're looking at an addition mainly. and we're up there in the north still. Quick history of this property. It was erected in 1856. Sources differ on if it was Isaac Wilson or Jacob Bennett who erected the house. In 1889, it was purchased by Andrew Moody, who did a lot of work on it, including moving it and additions such as the jelly kitchen, which is in the rear. That was from 1891 to 1897 about. We know the porch was added somewhere between 1900 and 1902. I love this picture of the porch because you can just barely see in the back the mother of these two babies holding them up, all dressed in black so she can blend in, which was really common photography at that time. And the house was owned by the Carlson family from 1927 to 2015. A lot of you who have been on the commission for more than a couple years have seen this property come through before, so that might be familiar to you. So the site is basically the whole lot because we're looking at an addition. These are the existing conditions. It's a pretty small property. And then you can see the garage in the rear. I'm also going to note on this that in the proposal, we're going to have sort of two separate, I would say, types of additions. One is on the rear, a modern addition, and on the front, the proposal is to add the porches, which were there in the 1900s back, which you can see in some of that photography that I just showed and in your packets. So here's a drawing of those existing conditions so you can kind of see what's going on there, and a little bit of the slope of the ground as well, which is useful to know when you're looking at the massing of the proposed addition. And then here's a render of the proposal in those same views. So you can see on the left side, which is the front, those porches up in the front. And then on the right side photo, most of that is the addition back in the rear. You can see sort of that dip down. We're calling that the hyphen, which connects the original property to the proposed addition. I'm also going to note now that that hyphen in some of the alterations around this property were suggested by the SHPO, the State Historic Preservation Office. This property is up for the tax freeze, and the SHPO has given their thumbs up to keep rolling with the proposed plans for now. And then here's just a couple other renders of different views, which are useful to see. Sort of, you can see the garage with the context and different angles there. And then I also have the drawings in here, so that shows what that's going to look like in elevations there and there. And you can kind of see the outline of the porch and everything on the bottom view here on the side, which is a nice way to visualize how things might change and where things are being added. And I believe that's it. We'll start here.
Hey everybody, I'm Philip Lang. This is a house we bought a year ago and I had a renter in it when I bought it. So they remained until August of this year, and then I had another renter in until just now. They're moving out. So now we're really going to move forward with this project, and we're really excited to move into the district. It's going to be me, my wife, my son and daughter, which they're going to come tonight, but we knew it was going to be a little later, so we let them stay home. But I've done a historic home in Genoa, Illinois, and it was from 1880, and it was a Sears home that came off the rail. And that was a pretty cool, fun project. I bought that when I was 26, took me 4 years to do. So it took a long time, but I did it all myself. Then currently I live in the 822 East Side Drive house that was moved from 38 to 822 East Side. So that was the second historic home I've done, and I'm excited to get this one going. And I think Sean's done a beautiful job. We worked together for a long time. We go to church together, and it was a good thing that he did on the inside for our family. The existing house is going to be used as my office, so if I have people, like clients from work come, we have an office in Elk Grove. If I want to do a meeting here, it's kind of segmented from the rest of the house, which is cool. We have a separate entrance for that. And then the whole open concept in the downstairs floor, big kitchen, we like to entertain, we like to have family over. So it's kind of cool that we have kind of the mix between the old and the new there, so.
So what's the square, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What's the square feet of the original house compared to it with the addition?
Total is 600? Yeah.
So here's where the fun comes. So the house is 650 square feet.
Oh, my God.
Now, the addition is bigger than that.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah.
The numbers are on your site plan. It's about 2,300 square feet of addition.
Okay.
Now, I'd kind of like to actually outline for you some of the strategies on this, because there are strategies. First, let me say this. We commissioned the renderings for you.
They're beautiful.
They are.
They are
So
beautiful.
Frank is watching this right now. Frank Schneider did those, and he was so excited to have this opportunity. So we had a drone fly the site, and he dropped this in with Gaussian Splat is the name of the program. I'm sure it's all on the tip of your tongues, right? Gaussian Splat. But so a handful of different strategies to do this. Of course, with the original house, we're really not touching it. These will actually be replacing the triple tracks that are there, and the windows will stay in place. It is worth noting that the windows are pin-styled, double hungs. They are not original because they actually added meat to the upper sashes in the upper units. So when you go inside the house, you'll actually see they scabbed in wood. So they must have had some older windows that then they replaced and then they add scabbing to it. But we're simply leaving those windows in place. And a lot of this is coordination with the folks at the state of Illinois. Just some background, I was introduced to this project in 2016, and the former owners and I never came to a resolution when they decided they wanted to remove the house. So we went our separate ways. And then Phil and his wife purchased the house, and he shared with me one afternoon at church, hey, we bought that house. And I'm like, oh, I know that house. So the house's ridge, from grade to ridge, is 20 foot 4 inches. First floor ceilings are 7'2". Second floor ceilings are 6'2", okay, in the original house. So this is the shortest house I've ever worked on. So when we're tasked with trying to design something that works with this, Emily, could you go to the photograph from the corner of 5th and, yes, this one, left image, okay? This is from eye level. So what we did was the addition is now 2 feet lower. So the floor level of the addition is 2 feet lower because grade does pitch back nicely for us. So we stepped down 2 feet from the original house. So that allows us to have an 8.5 foot ceiling in the first floor. And then what I'm doing is I'm bringing the wall plate to 7 feet and then springing off of that with a pitch matching the house. And so that way then the pitch is kind of in keeping with the existing house, and it's fairly subtle. I could have pitched it higher, but I wanted to at least match that. So then I have a handful of paddle dormers within the bedrooms to give head height in the bedrooms for the kids on the second floor. The way this lays out is there's a great room that's 2 stories high, so that's what those windows are there. It's a 2-story high space. We're tying all those ceilings with threaded rod, so it'll be vaulted inside. And then on that first floor, towards the garage side, is the kitchen, mudroom, laundry, and 3/4 bath off of the garage. We are not touching the existing garage. And like I said, we're doing very little to the original house. We're just simply taking off that little annex off the back, replacing it with this hyphen to create a buffer between the original house and the addition. And so we are, with the ridge height from the existing house to the ridge height of this house, just about 4 feet at its highest above the original house. Now, the question is, are there houses in the district that do this? Oh yeah, there are. And they also got tax freezes. There's one in particular that Mark Van Kerkhoff did, kitty corner from this house. The address, let me just remember, is 415 Peyton. So that's another one that is taller by a ways. Now, one of your commission members that I worked with, the Reebies, they did not get a tax freeze, but their house is an addition that we designed that is taller than the original house. The state understands the kind of box we're in, if you will. And so they're allowing us to go taller than the original house by creating this hyphen, by kind of separating it from the original house. The Amore house, that is at the corner of 127 Ford, is a good example of a project that is like this. So that house came well before most of you. I may have been on the commission at the time when I presented it, but it's at the corner of 2nd and Ford. So it's the next block east of the Reebies. That house sort of stands at the corner, and then we did addition off the back and to the side. And that did get tax freeze as well. So there are precedents for projects like this in the district. And again, we've been working with the state throughout this, and also with Jackie. So we started our relationship with the Langs when Jackie was here. And so we had a lot of different meetings with her. We've had at least 2 or 3 meetings with city staff, checking lot coverage, checking building area, making sure that we were complying with all of that before we came to you, so that we had our ducks in a row, so we didn't have to change things in midstream for you. So in terms of materials, we are looking at lap siding matching the existing house. The siding will probably be LP Smart siding, okay? The windows will be Marvin Elevates. What else can I tell you? Shingles, we're probably going to re-shingle the house and the addition, so that will be new. Trim will be LP Smart trim. The masonry chimney, we'll certainly bring you examples of brick that we'll be presenting, but there is a fireplace within this that will also house a pizza kitchen or pizza oven on the kitchen side, which will be neat. So that will be a material that we'll bring examples for you on. I'm trying to think of other elements that you might ask for. In terms of replicating the old porch, we'll certainly have to work off of the kind of historic photograph that we have. And then what is interesting and what we don't know for sure, and based on Emily's report, so the porch that is on the, could you go to another slide that gets us from the front? Nice, good. The porch that's on the left side of this, or on the east, is currently an enclosed porch, as you know. Now, I think that is actually an addition that was done. Emily, your report suggested that somebody had changed out the old porch and put this in, I think, in your report, if that sounds right.
That was kind of what I was getting. I'd be happy to dig more into it, because sometimes you can find things in the newspapers, but.
We will find out,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
we're going to restore it back to the original porch. Now, what's neat about the house inside is that the original door opening and the original window opening are still there. So we're just simply going to provide a new sash in that opening and then a new door in the existing opening. So they're there, ready for us to go ahead and use. But we don't know what's underneath that porch currently. I think that if you look at the historic photo, that original porch is actually a little smaller. Yeah, maybe you could find that. So you could just make out on the left side, it actually pinches in about 1.5 feet, something like that, off of the corner. So I'm not quite sure if it's a newer construction and foundation-wise what's there. Obviously, we'll figure that out when we get into it, but we will restore the porch to be similar to this with basically 2 posts. So it'll be kind of a simple open porch.
Do we want to mention that chimney that's on the property right now is also proposed for removal, but it is not original?
It's not historic,
It's
yeah.
not historic. Just
State of
so
Illinois has given us their blessing to remove it because it is not historic. In fact, if you do go look at it, you'll see that the foundation is probably about 6 inches smaller than the actual chimney. So they had to corbel it into that foundation, which is pretty wacky. So there'll be some interesting things that we do in the basement to help to support the first floor. The state was very clear with us. They didn't want us messing with, the stairs, the floors, things like that. They did give us the blessing as far as kind of reconfiguring the entry sequence from the side porch. So we do have a hall that takes us down that to the new addition, and then Phil's offices to the west side of that entry. So that's how that'll play out. So I want to just give you all I can in terms of data and information and
Well, it sounds
insight?
like you've done a ton of homework.
Yeah.
So you're bringing us a pretty fleshed out idea. And you have the blessing of having a very large lot of land in which to do all this, because not everybody has that kind of property. In terms of scale for the addition, I mean, obviously it matches the scale of what's around it, and you've discussed that, so it seems appropriate to me. We still see the original structure, which is a priority for anything that is, something that we would be interested in. So I feel like I don't really have any critical feedback. I think it's an appropriate solution on a very large empty lot.
And to your point too, one of the strategies was, so that sort of glass box you see there, it's pushed back, I don't know, some maybe 12, 15 feet from the face of the original house, and then it starts to step towards the garage. So as the addition recedes to the south, it's sort of coming back to the street front, whereas it's pushed back there, so.
Yeah.
And that worked out pretty well. But again, without the size of this lot, we wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to do some of these
Oh, yeah.
things. So it really has been a blessing.
Yeah, and it seems very appropriate. It doesn't look like, you know, it looks like it knows it, but it also is its own unique structure. So, you know, I think it's something that, you know, we'll look forward to seeing the details.
Yeah, me too.
And
Nice job,
actually-
Lisa.
I actually like the bigger windows, because that kind of does say that's
Yeah.
not, that's of its time, as
Right.
opposed to,
Yeah,
it doesn't have a false sense of historicism,
Right?
which I think the different style of windows on the addition, it is hard to get. I'm glad you had the 3D renderings done, because I
I
think
listen to
it-
these meetings every time. I love that you guys want to see those, so I wanted to make sure
Yeah,
that
and
Phil
it really,
obliged.
it really shows the,
Yeah, it helps.
the scale of it as it is from the street side, as opposed to, you know, it would be, it's really deceiving to see the front elevation.
It would have been a harder conversation to have with you looking at floor plans.
Yeah,
yeah,
And the elevations are flat, so when you look at the front elevation, you see that mass in the back there, it looks as though it's like right up against me.
exactly.
Right.
And
And-
it
and
just
so-
overwhelms the
Yeah.
existing home, so.
Yeah.
One interesting tidbit is that the Wetmores live next door.
Yeah.
Their house sits 36 feet above grade to their peak. That's the beautiful original Queen Anne, you know, Victorian that they have. And this house is 20'4", and it steps down 2 feet from grade, from their grade to our grade. So in theory, it's almost 18 feet taller than our house.
Yeah.
Again, it's a 20'4" tall house, so, yeah, it's a little.
Yeah, I had thought about trying to ask whether you could drop that plate even more, especially on the two-story space, to see whether you could, did you look at that, and having a different, just to keep it down as, but I think the mass of the,
It creates a little mishigas for me on the other side.
I'm sure.
And so, and what I did do was, so in the plane of the west side, I did break it, so that I had
Yeah.
at least a break line, so that, again, pushing the great room back towards the east. Helped, and so, and that brought that roof line down a little bit, so, the 7-foot plate height is as low as I could get, reasonably to get headers in, right? So I've got to get headers for windows, I got 6 foot 6 inch tall heads for second floor.
Yeah.
Right? So I got to get a header in. You know full well that, yeah.
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 Sean, I love that little house. I know it doesn't come as a big surprise. I looked at that house and wanted to buy it so badly, so I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've been in that house,
Yeah,
and Kevin, my husband, would not buy it. And kudos to you, Philip, for not wanting to tear it down. So I think it looks great. I mean, your plans look great. It sounds like the plans that Michael and I made when I thought I could maybe get the house. Michael did some very similar plans to that, that we talked about. So, best of luck. I mean, I think it's going to be great.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited, for sure. It'll be, yeah, and again, it sort of completes that lot, and then there's another lot directly south of this that has been sitting empty for a while, and I think he's waiting for the Langs to do something in hopes of that then escalating values and all that fun stuff. So, you know, it's,
Sean, I tried to buy that lot too. Yes.
and to no avail.
He never returned, Kevin talked to him a couple times, but then he never returned our phone calls.
So if you
Just
buy
trying
it,
to
maybe
buy
you've
it
got
down.
to, you know, you
Yeah.
could turn it right around.
Yeah, he told me no. He's like, I'm gonna build something there once you build.
He's in Florida. He lives
I
in
know.
Florida now.
I just have one comment before
Please,
we
yeah, go ahead.
And
Yep.
the redoing the front porches is great. That's fabulous. I love seeing
Yeah.
that being done. And the rest of the house is great too. My only aesthetic comment would be, when I was looking at it, at least on the west
Yep.
faces here, the setbacks are great. That gives you a little bit of break there. To me, I'm kind of sad to hear that the old chimney is gonna be missing. Because it kind of gave a vertical break to wall, window, wall, window, wall, window, when you're looking at it from, if you want to go to that view, yeah, that view right there. To me, that's a lot of wall, a lot of window.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
aesthetically, my only comment would have been, geez, can you keep that chimney on the old house? That would break that up a little bit. And is there any way you could move that back door to the west side of that small bump out on the south side of
The back door,
the door that between the house and the garage? With the little
the awning,
awning over it, yeah.
move that to where?
To the small bump out,
On the original house?
no, on the addition.
Oh, facing the street?
Yeah,
Oh. Yeah, so that
just to
lobe,
break that up a little bit.
yeah,
That
that
was
lobe
my
ends up
comment.
being kind of a private bathroom area for it. And at that point, then we're into the setback. So, I mean, I'm like 1.5 feet off of the setback with, as it sort of comes out back to the street front. I'm sure we could look at it. We could even look at something, I would ask the other, you know, in terms of spending his time and money on designing that, I would ask the other commission members, is that something you want me to look at? And would it be a deal breaker if I came to you next time and you said, well, without that chimney, it's a no-go?
I'll just say for myself, it's not a deal breaker.
Right,
No.
okay,
No,
No, and you
It's-
said it yourself, it was a non-historic
It's not
element,
historic.
correct?
right.
Yeah.
No, but I do understand the need or
Yeah.
the consideration of at least breaking up the mass. In terms of the location of that door, it does kind of start to
Mess
twist
with things on the inside.
It does. And in terms of ease of access between the door of the garage and the door of that back mudroom, it's a nice clean link. So we have a direct path from the garage to that. Instead of having an attached garage, it's the next best thing. I do like the idea of having a door out there with an awning and then giving us some character to that face. That certainly makes sense. But in terms of the dynamics of the interior of that floor plan, it does kind of throw things off a little bit. So, but, yeah, we could certainly look at something on that west wall between the two sides. I don't want to get sort of tricky on that and put some sort of lattice work or something like that, I don't know, we could look at something. As far as the chimney, because we'll be replacing all of the fixtures in the house, the boiler, the furnace, all that stuff with high-efficiency systems, we won't need it. We won't need the chimney either. It just won't be a practical need, so.
Oh, yeah.
There
It'll be
you
a
go,
while.
yeah.
Maybe we could just borrow
Yeah,
the
they
old.
do that right away, yeah.
Yeah.
You might have a pigeon out front for a while.
You can kind of see in these historic photographs, I believe in 1902, that chimney wasn't there, and you can actually see on the left, there was a different chimney going on.
So that was a little kitchen at one time, right?
Yeah.
Or, yeah,
Yeah.
so that would have been why that chimney was
Yeah.
there on the east side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you in the months to come, and if there's anything else you'd like to share, I'd be happy to take that into account. All right? Thank you.
I hope you have the information you need to continue
do.
forward. and
Yep.
We look forward to
Appreciate
seeing
it.
it.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
good night.
Good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have 410 West State Street, addition and remodel.
Okay, last but not least, discussion, but hang on, because there will be stuff in the staff report too, don't even worry. All right, we're on State Street now at a little property some of you might know as Bianchucha Restaurant. quick history on this property. It's always been commercial. It was constructed in 1956, according to phone books that we have, that the city owns. And it's gone through a few different owners. I was having a good time with the newspapers this month, apparently. This is an ad that I thought was funny of the insurance company that was there beginning around 1962. This is our phone, and my mommy is mad when my daddy said, if you yak all day on that thing, the wire will get hot and set the house on fire, and we do not have any yakking insurance at Bill Rose Quick Dependable Insurance. Something fun, too, is that the Geneva Chronicle functioned out of this property for some time as well. So the current tenant opened in 2007, and that's what we're looking at now. This is a mid-century modern property, which we do have a few along State Street, but it is fairly unique in the district for that era. And we're looking at an addition and then a remodel of the front facade or a rehabilitation of the front facade. So these are what we're looking at right now. You can see that sort of exposed stone. That asymmetrical design is very typical to the mid-century modern. Those slanted windows are also very typical. And this is the proposed plan. I wanted to include this just to get an idea of why this proposal is being made. So it's going to provide a lot more interior space for the restaurant, which will be useful in months, maybe not this week since it's randomly 60 degrees today, but the winter months especially. And it'll also be designed to sort of allow airflow during the summer months, so there's still some of that indoor-outdoor experience of the space. At least that's the goal right now. Another goal is to make it more accessible for the handicap accessible needs. And this is the current proposal, so you can see on the left side of this, you can see what the original property sort of chunk is with that proposed remodel. And then on the right, you can see set further back, so you can sort of tell the difference there, the addition. With a lot of the same materials. And then these are just a few other views of that, just so you can get an idea of what it would look like. And just like the other two, this is a concept review, so comments and questions welcome. I believe that's all I've got. Come on up.
Excuse me.
My name is Rob Costello at Torch Architecture, 300 East 5th Avenue in Naperville.
Great, thank you. Anything to add from what Emily's brought?
No, just like to get feedback on replacement materials. So just as note, the existing glass is single pane. It's an aluminum system. That door on the left we don't think is original. It's been a number of screen doors, but it's not accessible. And so some of this is accessibility upgrades, creating a vestibule, but want to get feedbacks on what materials you think are significant and how renovations and replacement to those you'd like to see.
I guess I would start by, I would really like to keep, if you go back to that picture right there.
Yeah.
The stone corner, I think it would be really important for us to see that as it is right now. I don't have any problems changing anything beyond that stone line, because that's just basically a CMU wall. There's nothing there. But I think that between keeping that as an element and keeping it as it is right now would be, I think it would be important to us. I think the other, I know that you don't want to, I don't have a problem changing out the glass on the storefront on the front, but I would want to go back with something that's sympathetic to what's there now.
Yeah.
And not go to a black anodized system. I think if it would, those are kind of just my two thoughts on that. I think that the rest of it, I don't see a big issue with it. Does anyone else have issues?
Those were
Not
exactly-
even an issue. Jewel, I'm sorry, did I
No,
cut you off?
that's okay, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that's, you know, certainly things I can appreciate from what you were proposing is that we have the original building, that you were proposing the addition kind of be set back, which is nice to kind of define those two new versus existing spaces. I think that's what we like to see in the historic district, is to be able to recognize the building that was right along with progress and change, which is, you know, the addition. It looks like that same stone material that's on that column is also running underneath those windows. Is that the
Correct.
case? Yeah, and I think, can we see the rendering real quick? I think it removes that. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something we want to do either.
Yeah, I think that bulkhead
Yeah.
needs to stay along
Yeah.
with the stone column.
Yeah.
For me, that would be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
That stone column for sure would be
Yeah.
a deal breaker.
And certainly, and there was a note in your analysis, Emily, about, you know, the effects of painting the historic brick, and I think we would probably, like, to your point, Paul, about keeping that a recognizable architectural feature, sort of in the form in which it is today. But, yeah, in terms of, like, replacing the windows or, like, replacing that door and entry, yeah, I don't have a problem with that as long as the bulkhead stays kind of looking the way it does today, kind of with its same historic materials. And then what's the status of, you know, the awning and all that other, you know, as it stands today? Is that something that is, I mean, I don't know. It's historic, right? I mean, it's historic materials, it's,
Oh,
The existing
The existing
Yeah.
awning
awning
coming
over the
out?
front door?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if you're proposing painting it, is that what it's happening? And then,
That's actually a point of discussion, so if we want to talk about the lighting in there, the soffit, the vertical face,
Yeah.
what your feedback is on that? We're generally showing
Go back to
refinishing
the
it.
rendering of the
Yeah,
proposal there.
yeah,
See, I like that. I'm assuming that's a wood product
Yeah.
underneath there. I mean, I think that looks great. And the fact that you're keeping that angle, I think that's very important. That angle
Yeah.
and the stone, in my mind, are the two most iconic things. You know, the sloped windows that you were talking about, I mean, I could let those go for
Well,
a commercial window that's
Yeah.
vertical like that, but
But keeping the
Yeah, the-
bulkhead.
keeping the bulkhead,
Keeping
yeah.
the bulkhead, I think, is what's most important to us. And I would actually, I'd almost like to, not to dictate the color, but I think that I thought it was very effective when they changed out at Bash, which is just
yeah.
down State Street. They started with a dark anodized, and they went to the clear anodized, and it really reflects back to what was there originally.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem going with the dark anodized on the other side, or going, you know, I mean, it does start to tie everything together. I mean, I don't know, I mean, what's the commission's thought on dark anodized versus the clear anodized?
well, I mean, so, and then that's what I was trying to get at is like the existing historic materials is something that, is it paintable? Is this what that is? Is it painted? Is existing material, is that something new? Like, what is that?
This is shown as all new, so right now, it's a single metal, non-insulated system that can't really be renovated. So.
On the soffit itself?
No, on the window
Oh, the
system
fa-
now is just a single flat metal system that looks like a custom system.
Yeah, yeah.
So if the question was going the way, whatever we would do on the left, if you're saying you'd like to see clear anodized on the left, we would probably do the same on the right.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, and I
carry
think,
it through.
to your point about, that other restaurant and some of the color choices allowed it to maintain and keep that historic look. Some of this, it looks almost, too contemporary, and it makes you almost forget what was, not just the column itself, but also the materials of the awning. So I guess, again, I keep on saying the same thing, is the integrity of what's existing something that is paintable? Is that a thing? Would we paint that material? If we go to what is there today, and we look at that and say, that's either, those materials have to come down.
And are you talking window system or the
I'm
wood
talking about
above?
the awning.
Okay.
The material on the overhang where those
Yeah.
The
lights
material
are.
on the overhang, there's something there, it has texture, it's ribbed, it's similar to what's being proposed, in my opinion. So is it something that gets painted? Do we need, is that something that's worthy of retention?
Rather than just the form.
Correct.
Yeah.
The soffit, I think, is the tougher one of the two, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I think that, I don't think I have an issue with changing, I mean, I'm not sure that coping is historic to begin with.
Well, and that's what I'm asking, because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling
and
you
I'm
right
not-
now, guys, I
yeah.
do not know the answer to that question. That's
Yeah.
why I'm throwing it out there like that, because I don't know.
Yeah. Could you go back to the historic photo? Or is that, oh, we can't really tell
Yeah,
from
we
that.
are here from 99.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
That
not-
kind of looks like a vertical
Yeah, it
window
does.
system next
Yeah.
to the door.
Yeah, that's,
It might also be the angle that that photo was
Yeah.
taken on, because I had to take, well, this one's from 2016, I did not take the 2016 one, but when I took the ones that are in your packet, I had to do it from across the street, and that makes some of the angles look a little bit more dramatic. I think there were less cars in the way in 1999. Maybe parking was
Are
set
you
up
talking about the
differently.
shape of the, it is very dependent on angles. We have a
Right,
bunch of
yeah, I
pictures
mean,
taken on
there's a
angles that makes it
keystone
look all
effect
different, but
that,
it seems like that's been consistent through.
yeah. I'm not sure I'm really hung up on the material and the face of the soffit, or the soffit or the material and the, because I don't know, I mean, I think what's more important to me is the form.
Yep.
Yeah, the
I
shape
agree,
and the-
that's
yeah.
with me too. It's not the material, it's,
But I do think that the stone is so prominent, I think that that's something that it is very important, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, we keep the, if we're looking at the 99 photograph, what stands out? Is certainly, yeah, all the forms are there, that the lines stay the same, the door stays in the same location, the bulkhead stays the same. We can replace things, you can change the door, you can widen the door in that opening, it looks like what's surrounding it is kind of, I don't know, sort of makeshifty in the first
Yeah,
place.
it looks like it.
But beyond that, and, yeah, and then if you, what you do to the left, you do to the right, it seems to track. And that they're just on different planes. I do enjoy the fact that it is, you know, lighter in some of that, that awning and all of what's happening up high. It has some lightness to it, so it is shocking to see that building as something that's black and not the same color as what it has been, but I don't know, we're not in the habit of dictating
no.
paint colors.
I like the darker myself, really.
you?
But
Well, it is.
Would you wouldn't have a problem with going to a dark anodized frame?
I wouldn't, no. Because the form, you know.
The form's still
form is
there.
still there.
Yeah,
And that's the important thing, because all that other stuff, it can be changed, you know, in the future. You know, the fact that the overhang there is gonna maintain that angle is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, on the new part, the addition, that overhang is going to be flat, right? It's not gonna be angled, so that's, you know, that creates a significant difference.
which
In
is
my
actually,
mind.
that's good.
Yeah,
in
which is
my-
great.
That's,
Which is good.
that's what we would want, because we don't want to have a, you know,
Yeah,
we're not trying to match
Yeah,
things.
and the idea the front would match on that. It'd actually be open louvers, it wouldn't be closed, so it would be, the new
Did you go to
right side
that-
would be significantly different.
rendering, what are you talking about?
So the addition would be, the underside would be completely different, that would be louvered. The front would be flat, not angled, so it would
Yeah.
be,
Right, yes.
hold the profile but not be
Yeah.
Right.
the same.
I appreciate that.
So I like the rendering, but I guess I'm struggling with, to me, it doesn't scream or look back, it's a mid-century modern building that, I know that was built in the 50s. Maybe the form is, but the way it's set up, it doesn't really say that on the original side. You know, what happens on the right, I'm okay with it, but I guess going back to what Paul was saying, you know, is, you know, the darker aluminum, or, you know, if you just do the clear, I kind of vote for the clear to kind of just helps to say that was built in the 50s. That's a historical portion of, not just the form of the building. But that's
To me,
my
it makes
own
it look
kind of-
Mies van der Rohe, which is, you know,
But the original one
Kind
didn't
of
look
a-
very Mies, did it? You
well,
know?
I mean, the shape and the design of it did. The coloration, no, because it wasn't black. You know, it's like the Brownson house, you know, that's black kind of, you know, window
Sure.
anodized
No,
kind
I'm
of
just
thing. And
saying,
it's that
this
same-
original
it's that
structure
same
didn't look
period.
like that. Yeah.
So to me, that does scream that period. But, you know, it's
Yeah.
not a deal breaker for
Oh.
me either.
It doesn't scream that period to me.
The black,
Yeah, so if we're all,
so
We're
you
kinda all
guys,
over
you
the
guys would
Yeah.
want both sides to be light.
yeah, yeah, because and the brick stays as it is today,
brick.
the.
Well, I think it would help if you had the brick on the one side too, to help with the visual.
Exactly,
Kinda-
yeah, and so if we were to update this particular presentation and not have that center column be, you know, painted something
Right.
other than what it is today, and include the bulkhead at the bottom, and, you know, I think some of the updated materials might feel a little different. You may also want to not have some of those black accents when we reintroduce and don't cover some of those other original materials and paint over them. So in that case, does the black really want to be there with it? And I don't think it does, so.
Is it possible to get a rendering of black and clear? An updated one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
I mean, that, I think.
It would help me.
We're just,
Yeah.
we're just trying to, I think we're working through it, and I think that,
Sure.
I think you, obviously, you're the designer, so we want you to, I mean, those are what we're struggling with, I guess. And so, it, oh, I'm sorry. I've got my cough going, so, I think that's something you want to just study and see.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm picking up from the commission is, you know, the stone is probably the most important. And then there's other places where, you know, we'll have to, you know, kind of, you've heard what we've had to say.
Yeah, because what we're debating right now is color.
Color,
You know, and
exactly.
that's something that
So I hear
can be-
clearly stone below the window, stone on the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
The option of color for the glass, those
Yeah.
are all
Yeah.
easy ones. I didn't hear strong though about the soffit, we're keeping the shape no matter what,
Okay.
but the colors doesn't seem to be as
I-
strong of a,
I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of like, I can kind of understand wanting to have whatever soffit. I mean, is the other soffit open, you were saying, or is it?
Yes.
It is open, okay. I mean,
that's something we can address when we
Yeah.
return the stone and go
Absolutely.
through, but
Yeah,
it doesn't
exact-
sound like there's a strong,
I don't think there's
One way or
as
the other.
strong as the other two. And I'm not sure that, when, the one, I think you put together a context page, and that cant on that window is very, very pronounced. And I'm not sure, does everyone,
Wait.
what's your thought on the window being canted?
I don't have a problem with it being vertical and losing that cant.
Because if you're in the, within the,
Like the canopy window, is that what we're talking about?
no, the existing window
Yeah.
that existing window there,
The
those are
top, the top tilts into the inside.
side.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's,
that's-
and within, actually, you can kind of see it in that upper,
Yeah, so the
left
window is
hand.
kind of like this.
yeah, and I'm not sure that's that important, do you?
I didn't know he
It's
did that
less
until I
important.
actually went to the restaurant.
It's kind of
Right,
less.
it's less important
It's
than the
less
stone and
important
the
than the
bulkhead
stone, yeah, I
and
mean, I guess
the
that's,
shape of the
that's where,
overhang.
I think that if you came back with something, we would probably,
Right.
I don't know whether we'd have a problem or not.
If you wanted to leave that cant in there, that would be all
I would
right.
love, I would love to have the cant in there with a new,
Same.
the new, a new aluminum system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
I don't know whether.
Black.
No.
Pushing for black. We're discussing color though, and we don't,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're not
that's
really.
not,
Though,
Right, bronze.
though it is a permanent material, so we kind of get to discuss color on a permanent.
it would be helpful to see, you know, a revision with the bulkhead, with the, you know, with some of that, and with the original materials and all of that, to be able to even, you know, comment on that direction too, so. But that's
Yeah.
not stopping you from,
Continuing,
doing-
I guess, are you getting enough from us?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I think I have a good direction of.
Did we confuse you even more?
Yeah,
No, no, not at all. No,
Because,
I think that was
we
clear
can
direction.
talk
That
for
was-
another 20 minutes.
No, I appreciate the feedback. No, I think that gives me
Okay.
direction.
Okay. Anything else from anyone? If not, that, we don't have to even.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming in, I appreciate it.
Thank
It was a
you.
nice presentation, too.
Thanks for your
it's
patience.
very
Feel
helpful.
free to reach out anytime.
I think I scared him away. Okay, what do we got next? We have the, let's see. We have Secretary's report.
Yep, okay. So I know I've been saying for the past few months, staff progress is going on as normal. A lot of staff progress has hit a point for review this month specifically, so that's exciting. First of all, 5 permits were administratively approved this month. Accessory structure, landscape, repair of a chimney, and 2 signs. I'm gonna skip this one because we're gonna go to that link, and I don't wanna have to reset the whole computer after I do that. Workshop update, I've gotten in contact with Michael Miller,
Oh, good.
and we're looking at doing a workshop with him and possibly a few others, depending on how schedules all line up, possibly making it more of a panel situation. I think having more opinions and more experiences is always a nice thing. So we'll see, and I'll keep you updated on scheduling and that process. And then yesterday, the FY 2027 budget was approved. So we are going to be having a new historic preservation residential facade grant incoming.
That's great.
And we hope to have a draft out for your review next month.
How much, do you know? How much?
50,000's in the budget for next fiscal year.
I could have that.
Okay. Oh, good.
Oh, very good.
It'll be- So then the other thing, I think you guys have heard about this survey since 2016 now. You might have heard a little bit about it.
Yeah.
We now have it made up into a map that is hopefully going to be usable in the next few months. I'm going to present it to you tonight for your review over the next month, just to make sure there's nothing completely glaring or really hard to read or anything. And then we'll discuss it for a recommendation to City Council next month. So that's what I'm going to do now.
So are you going to send it to us then?
Yes, so I'll send it to you tomorrow morning, and I have a
Okay.
map, like the actual map that you'll be able to access, and then I have what I'm about to show you
Okay.
right now, which is a story map that sort of walks you through how to use it for anyone who doesn't have as much ArcGIS experience, clicking around on layers and things, and also talks a little bit about the process in general. So I'll walk you through this right now, and then, as always, if you have any questions, I'm available. So these tabs up here on the story map are going to take you to the different sections of the story map if you don't want to scroll all the way through. If you want to go straight to the inventory map, that's that third tab. And then you can also click here and access it. It looks like this, just by itself. And I'll get to that in a moment. So just a quick welcome, introduction of what a survey is. This is an old 5-minute field guide from Michael on architectural surveys. Some of you might have been there for that one. Some quick write-up on what mapping is used for in historic preservation. So historic maps, I linked us to our Sanborn maps on the Library of Congress, versus this type of map, which is a modern survey, and the different ways you can sort of customize that depending on need. Our map focuses on ratings because it's designed for property owners and people interested in the district and individually landmarked properties to be able to go and see what's landmarked, what's designated, what's it rated in the various designation types, and also lots of history and additional information on it. So why update a survey? Our last survey was done in 1999. That's what we primarily work off of. It's been a while since 1999. So things have been, I was not even born yet. Thank you, Jesse. Things have gotten older, things have been demolished, things have been constructed, been damaged, been rehabilitated. Lots of changes have happened in the district, even with it being a district, and similarly for individually landmarked properties. So by updating the survey, we can accurately reflect these changes in the city records and in tools that residents and USDHPC get to use. So these updates were added to the National Register listings when the 2016 survey was done, and we've sort of been, you'll have seen in the past, you know, the old survey said this, the new survey confirms, that type of thing. This local update brings the local records in line with the National Register listings and sort of incorporates permitted work which has occurred since then, and also adds a lot more history than was done in the reconnaissance survey, a lot more context. An additional note is that in this survey, the potentially significant rating has been removed. So you'll see that things have either been moved to contributing or significant, depending on sort of where they were sitting on that balance. That was really just decided that it was a confusing extra rating, and it was adding a lot of questions where everything sort of fit, especially in the matrix, on the same side once it was contributing. So this slider just shows the old survey. All that gray is things that were sort of unrated or weren't exactly listed in the 1999 survey. This updated one goes through and goes lot by lot based on the map. Thank you. And you can see on the key here what everything is. So you can also see that green on the, when it's over here, is the significant, and the potentially significant is orange. And that potentially significant all sort of switches over. And that also depends on what's happened on the property at the time. So you all know this. Geneva uses now contributing, significant, and non-contributing. And we also have 2 layers of National Register districts, which use contributing and non-contributing. Here's some examples of what that might look like. This survey itself specifically includes built after 1987, because that'll be the shift of the period of significance. Irreversible alterations and reversible alterations for non-contributing, so property owners can sort of see if their property is non-contributing, why is it non-contributing. If their property is contributing or significant, that's usually listed out in the history of the property. And that has a lot to do with the date of construction as well. This is National Register designations. And here we are at the map. So each property now has this document linked to it, which has general information on the property. This whole page is history, additional photos, permitting history. In some cases, we have even more additional photos. So these are all accessible on the map for people to look at when they're researching their property or looking more into what's gone on in a property.
That's awesome.
Lots of credit to Michael for setting that one part up and doing a lot of the history work on it. Then this is sort of a pop-up that you'll be able to see on the map, and I'll show you this again in a second, but I just wanted to highlight this yellow bar that I've highlighted here is where you can view those forms, which is really one of the biggest chunks of the usefulness of the map. And then this sort of scroll bar is going to scroll through layer by layer what's on the map. When you go to this main map just by itself, all 4 of those layers are turned on at the same time. I'll show you really quickly how to toggle those too. But this is gonna show you layer by layer, which I think sometimes makes it easier to read things when you're first starting out. So this layer is just the district bounds and the individual landmarks. That blue is the whole local district, and then as you know, the National Register districts sort of nest inside there. And then the stars are individual landmarks either on the National Register or locally, or both. And then when you scroll, these are local designations. So these are properties which are locally designated either as an individual landmark or on the district. And I'll click on Island Park right here because it's big and it's easy to click on. And you can see the pop-up shows up, and you can see the current rating, which is with this update, the previous rating, which would have been the 1999 address, forms, and the date of construction will be available there too. When you're looking at this in the main map, that pop-up won't be hidden by this text. And then you can do the same thing with the National Register designations. The only difference is it's going to show you what the property was originally listed as on the National Register, and then what the rating was updated to with the 2016 survey. And it won't have that form because that's not related to the National Register listing. That's specifically locally built, you could say. And then this is, like I said, all of those layers sort of together so you can see what that looks like. And then I'm going to hop over into this really quickly just to show you how to run this because this is the tech-heavy part. So this top right here is where you can toggle layers. So if you click this little eyeball, that'll turn whatever layer that is off. So the way that I've been using it mostly is by turning off everything except for the local view if I wanted to see the local view, for example. And then if I wanted to find an address, what's an address we could use?
Put in the Ford Street.
Ford Street, 428?
Yeah.
You can type in 428 Ford. It'll bring you right over there. And then you can click on it. And it'll show that pop-up, which you saw earlier, but now you can actually see it. And it'll show you your updated rating, 1999 rating, where it is, so sort of what it's designated as. This is in the local historic district on this layer. And then date of construction is nice to see. And then you can also click on the form, and it'll take you right to all that information.
Wow.
And this one has a good history.
Yeah.
Some of them have.
That's amazing.
This was supposed to be originally like a 3-paragraph summary, and we moved it onto full pages.
Some people are verbose.
Sometimes it's fun to do the research.
That's great.
So
That's great.
that's the map, and I'll be able to send it to you all tomorrow morning to start digging into yourself. And even just, it's a great tool, and it is sometimes a little bit, you get sucked into it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job to everybody
Yes,
involved
thank you.
doing that.
Yeah,
That looks
Yes.
great.
Fabulous.
Big shout out to Michael and Jackie too.
Yeah.
So they were involved. So then this is the national view, so it'll show the same.
So will this be available to the public to go in there and
That's the goal. Yeah.
just, I don't know, maybe you guys thought about it, just how to just get it out there so people know that it's out there, so this is not a link buried inside the city website, so if somebody does want to buy in the historical district, they understand what they're really getting into and kind of dig deeper as opposed to, just buying an old house and
Hoping for
doing.
the best.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we plan on posting it on the HPC page of the website, and I think there will also be some announcement when it goes out.
Yeah, I mean, the first step is getting it recommended
Yeah.
for approval
Yes.
by the commission, adopted by the council. That'll be another public meeting where it'll get some attention, but then also working with our communications coordinator to push it out to the public and make sure everyone's aware that it's a tool that's out there. On our website now, we have we call it the City Maps page, where we house a bunch of different maps. It'll probably be housed there on the Historic Preservation page, and probably an initial push with our news flash.
very, very impressive, very
Yeah,
good.
very.
Yes, thank you,
Thank
Emily,
you.
for getting us across, or close to the finish line.
As close as you can get it.
Keep it pushing.
Thank you.
That's great.
Are we randomly looking at this, or are we specifically supposed to, I shouldn't say random,
are we just previewing it, or is there something we should be looking at while we're
Specifically
previewing
looking
it?
Yeah.
at,
I would say, broad strokes, making sure that it's legible, making sure that there's nothing glaringly, like, for example, the courthouse is rated as a significant, and if you notice that it was rated as non-contributing, I would want to know.
Okay.
But not going so far as to being like editing grammar into histories or anything. Pretty broad, just making sure everything looks good for the city. And this is intended to be a living document, so histories can be added as we get them. Sometimes when projects come up, I do more historic research and I have more time to dig into a specific project and I find something really fun, and then I can just add it in there.
people getting struck, nearly struck by lightning.
It's an important detail. Any questions? Any questions about how to click around while you have me in person?
No, I think we just have to try it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
get
Yeah, I
on
think
it,
so.
and, but thanks for the introduction of it, but I think once we get on it and start clicking away and kind of figure it out,
It is, it's a
I
pretty
think it'll be
easy
fun.
software to figure out, yeah.
Is that actually the Red Cross building over on South Street? Is that live over there too?
Where, oh, this guy?
Yeah.
See if it'll let me, uh-oh, did I freeze it?
I think that's the National Register, not local.
Yeah.
So you,
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you don't have that layer on, you might not be able to click it.
Oh, okay.
I think the mouse just died.
Oof.
Wait,
That's a sign.
it might be back.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, because that's not a local district thing.
Yeah, the light pink is one of the national,
Oh, okay. Cool.
because I just clicked both of them on.
I shouldn't say Red Cross, it's the Geneva Day School
There
or
was-
something
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
that.
okay,
I was
that's
like,
what threw
Red
me off. I
Cross.
was like, Red
Yeah.
Cross.
But it was the Red
It was the Red Cross?
for a while.
I think that is in the history, actually. Yeah, it's not gonna, oh, there it goes. There you go. So individually listed on the National Register.
Yep. Very good.
Thank you.
And that's all my updates.
Okay, with that, any new business from the commission?
I would like to say something. It's kind of new, it is new business. I want to thank you, Paul, for representing the HBC at the city council meeting in January, and for all of you that were able to attend. I was out of town, so I couldn't. And I also want to thank you for your comments that were directed to the city council members that made the comment that it's the third rail and they didn't want to touch it. And I appreciated the way you commented back on that. It was very professional and very nicely done, so thank you for saying that. And it's been a pleasure, and it is a pleasure to work on this commission, and I know that we all work very diligently. We are on task, and we follow the rules, the ordinances, and everything that we're supposed to. We do that, and we make sure that we do our homework before our meetings. So I was very disappointed that those comments were made. I felt that they were inappropriate, and I don't think that they fully understand what our tasks as historic preservation commissioners are. So I was disappointed and saddened to read those.
As was I. I was disappointed that they felt that people on the city council feel that we don't, either that we are zealously trying to save things, but I don't think that, I think we follow what our charge is, and,
The commission exists for a reason.
correct.
We're here, the district exists for a reason. And at the end of the day, that's what we do. And we have parameters, and we follow them, and we follow them without agenda. And that's a fact.
Yeah,
So,
so,
So- So on that topic, is there any updates on that?
So we've been working with our legal counsel on the next steps to pursue code enforcement and fines.
Okay.
well,
Well, it's-
there has been a judgment, correct? I thought there was a judgment.
Right, it's now trying to collect or push them towards payment.
Yeah. And there's nothing stopping them from creating a plan now,
There's
correct?
not, there.
And there's never has been.
Right.
There never has been, so.
Well, we just hope that, you know, they take advantage of some of the programs and things that are available in order for some of those hurdles to be a little easier to overcome.
Yeah.
So the comments made by some of the older persons about doing something to plaque or something, or at the very end, was there any other discussions from the city council on that, or? Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing what they propose.
We do.
Yes,
I'll tell you what they will propose.
we do look forward to that. And hopefully working together as opposed to working apart, and that goes for the city council as well.
Okay,
I have a comment.
sure.
I would recommend if anybody on the commission hasn't attended the tour of the police station, that it's a very worthwhile tour to take in light of the referendum that's coming up about the new police station. I'm not really sure if that referendum gets approved and the police move out of that building. I'm assuming it will be sold at that point, and at some point, maybe in the future, it would come before us for some kind of redevelopment or whatever, but I think it's, I think it was a great tour. I think Chief Passarelli and the Deputy Chief Dean did a great job and showing around, and it's very worthwhile, so I'd recommend that. And the other thing, and I don't know if I'm stealing any of your thunder, but I think I read that St. Charles now has ordinance on painting of masonry. And I think Geneva now is the only Fox River Valley town that, or city that doesn't have?
Batavia doesn't.
Batavia doesn't? Okay. But maybe it's coming?
Yeah, probably, based on what St. Charles is doing.
Yeah. So I just wanted to keep that, you know, on the future agenda. You know, I know this map has taken a lot of priority, and well, it should. But I don't want to let that kind of thing go by the wayside, so. That's it.
Great. Anything else from the commission? If not, I could hear from the public. Public, do you have something to say? You might have to step up to the podium.
This is all. At Watts Preservation Partners, if you don't know, the Judge Berry House in St. Charles is going to be saved. And it was a great partnership for everybody to come together and make that happen. So
That's great.
Yeah, that's
Great, thank you. With that, if I can get a motion to adjourn.
I will move to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're out.